very much.
You're welcome.
Well, no matter how you slice it, this is not helping the former First Lady, Secretary of State, when it comes to these polls. Now, I have long argued, long before any of this came out, that she was a, looking good from afar candidate, but far from good actually as a candidate. Some of you might recall some of these statements. I'm willing to wager a double quarter pounder on it. Not that you eat that, so it's a safe bet. She will not be the nominee.
Really?
Stick a fork in her. She's done. Hillary Clinton is done. She will not, I repeat, she will not be the Democratic presidential nominee. I will burn these tapes if that turns out not to be the case, but she will not be the Democratic nominee. All right, Katie Pavlich and Vince Coglianese now on whether Hillary Clinton is now not a lock for that nomination. Katie, to you first, and whether this is just building beyond belief for her. What do you sense?
So many food references, Neil. It's lunchtime. You're making us all hungry.
Well, that's how I operate, young lady, but go ahead.
That's how you roll.
Exactly.
I think this is a huge problem, obviously, for Hillary Clinton, and I think that Democrats have made a huge mistake by, saying that she's the inevitable and not having a backup plan. Bernie Sanders kind of, jumped into the race as a rogue candidate, and he's actually pulling in more support now than Barack Obama had at the same time when he was running against Hillary Clinton in 2008, and that poses a huge problem for her because in politics, momentum is what matters. Hillary is losing in New Hampshire. She's losing ground in Iowa with Bernie Sanders. And, of course, Joe Biden is looking to possibly get into the race. And they don't have a lot of answers to the criminal investigation that is going on and the issue of turning around trust with the American people and voters.
All right, Vince, I'm looking at all of that. I'm just saying, even prior to these revelations of the server and everything else and now being turned over and, the fear that it could get worse before it's already bad, she has been slipping in the polls. But I could also posit that she's slipping at the right time. Still early. She still has time. What's the read you're getting?
Well, I don't know. If you just compare her run now back to 2007 and just look at where she was ahead of her candidates. Katie was just talking about this. She was ahead of her Democratic primary opponents. And then she slipped. She lost to Barack Obama in Iowa. And then going into New Hampshire, that was the state she won. This is her moneymaker, New Hampshire. And now she's trailing Bernie Sanders. These polls don't look good, especially now. This is a bad time for her.
Yeah, you're right. It does,
but
Katie, I was talking. One of her supporters was talking to me and saying something to the effect, Neil, remember, Bernie Sanders is from neighboring Vermont. And that was the first time I could remember hearing someone posit the possibility that she loses there and that she would be facing a candidate in his hometown crowd. I thought that was weird.
Well, she absolutely could lose there. And look, polls change and candidates go up and down on both sides of the political aisle. But here's the problem is since Hillary Clinton left the State Department with an approval rating of something like 70%, she's only dived. It's not like she's staying in this category of moving up 2 or 3 points here and there. She's significantly gone down in the polls, and again, they don't have an answer when it comes to how to turn those polls around. When she does these interviews, she gets herself in even more trouble with a media, quite frankly, that hasn't been so hard on her. They don't have a response to the falling poll numbers, and they don't have a response to the trust issue, which is what is really killing her right now.
Well, what worries me is when I hear on MSNBC, Vince, that they have problems with her arrogance. I think, paraphrasing here, then I think, well, you've got some trouble.
Right. There are leaks in the Hillary ship, and they need to plug these holes. And this comes out of her poll numbers. As Katie was just saying, her unfavorability rises every time she steps in front of a camera. She has head-turning challengers in the Democratic primary. Bernie Sanders is taking advantage of a democratized media. Hillary Clinton, the Clinton press shop, can't control the press the way they once could. Now you have Facebook, where Bernie Sanders is absolutely exploding every day beneath the radar, and it's going to overflow crowds. You have Martin O'Malley complaining about how the way the Democratic Party is treating him. The Democrats are in disarray right now, and this is a symptom of the fact that Hillary's not going to have a coronation. This is not going to be an easy road for her, and everyone thought it was, and now she's got some real challenges from the left, and it's possibly going to result in a race that your bold prediction could turn out to be true.
And it's killing both of you, isn't it? No, thank you guys very, very much. Way too early, I had to stress, but in a mainstream media world where everyone has been focused on the Republicans and their dysfunctional race and their candidates and the infighting, it is now officially worse on the Democratic side. We'll keep an eye on it for you. We'll keep an eye on